Okay, so yesterday in analysis phase, as I said, so you can see my screen, right? So prioritize requirements. This is what I'm explaining you now. Okay, so prioritizing the requirements. So we use a technique known as Moscow technique for prioritizing. So Moscow technique. Look at this Moscow. Moscow stands for must, should, could, and won't. MSCW. M for must, S for should, C for could, W for would or won't. So O and O, I mean, they added in the middle to frame a word. That's it. To make some sense, like Moscow. Okay? Please be on mute. I'm getting some background noises. Asha, please, always be on mute. If you have any doubts, please ask. Because while I was recording, the background noises, everything will be recorded here. So that really makes a disturbance when you're listening back again. Okay? It's for your purpose. Okay, now, must means must have this. Let's come up with some example. If you take an example of a cell phone, okay, a cell phone, what is a must requirement for a cell phone? Connectivity. Yesterday you said, right? So connectivity is a must requirement. And what next? Call button is a must requirement. So like this, you have to ask to client, like what are the must requirements? You have to ask the client like what are the must requirements, and you have to make a list of all these must requirements separately. Got it? In a document. Like, let's assume you open an Excel sheet and write down must, should, okay, and put all the must requirements under must, okay. Like if you look into, if you take an example of a car, what are the must requirements for a car? Engine. Without having an engine, how can you start a car? How can you drive a car, right? Then next comes steering, next comes wheels, like that. What are the must requirements you have to mention separately. In the same way, when you look into any IT application like online banking application, login page, okay, login page is a must requirement. Without login page, how can you check your account details? How can you transfer the money? Correct. And once you log in, account download statement is also a must requirement. Fund transfer is also a must requirement, because the online banking application is designed to check your account's balance, at the same time to download the statement, at the same time to transact with, to do some transactions on the uh, through the application, okay, through online. So these requirements, we call them as must requirements. So you have to ask client what are the must, and make a note of all the must requirements, and then explain these must requirements to technical team. Like, these are the must requirements, the technical team will design these requirements first. Okay, got my point, right? Next one is should. Should means should have this if at all possible. What is possible? Let's come up with a cell phone example again. We discuss like call button, connectivities, and these all comes under must. What is should? Camera, internet connection, camera, like front camera, back camera, or megapixels, or is it a touchpad or is it a QWERTY keypad? You see, you can even use a touch screen, or you can even use a QWERTY keypad, right? That doesn't matter. But the main thing is, it is a communication device. Through this mobile, you have to call someone and you have to connect someone. That is a must requirement. And what are the should requirements other than that? Camera, internet connection, touch screen, or blah 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 blah. You know, all other features which are possible, you implement all of them. Let's look into second example, that is car. If you look into car, what are the must requirements? As I told you, engine, tires, steering, brake, accelerator, these all are mandatory. Seats, these all are mandatory. And coming to should, a music system. See, when I say a car, music system is not mandatory, right? That is a secondary part. So that is what it comes under should. Without music system also you can drive, you can travel, right? Without listening music also you can travel. But without having a steering, how do you drive a car? Without having an engine, how do you drive a car? So those are must requirements, and should comes under like music system or some interiors, okay, air condition, so blah 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 blah. This all comes under should requirements. Okay, and could have this if it does not affect anything else. I mean, could requirements means there will be some requirements, they really bother you a lot. They really bother you a lot. Some unwanted, unnecessary requirements. Try to ignore them. Don't implement in them. For example, let's go with a small example here. This is a Google page, right? It's pretty clean. It's pretty clean. So if I want to search something, I type google.com and I come here. Nothing, I don't see any advertisement, anything here. I type something here, XYZ, and I get the data and I will log out. I will close the window. But if I go to another search bar like yahoo.com, see the difference. See the difference between Yahoo page and Google page. This is also a search page, right? Here you can see a search window, right, on the top. But what are all these things? What are all these things? There are a lot of advertisements, there are something, a lot of pictures, movies. I don't want all these things. I never asked, I never requested for all these things, right? I don't want all these things. But when you look into Google page, it's pretty clean, right? So now you tell me what are good requirements? These all advertisements, these are really affecting the main page. These junk data, these all are junk data only, right? This junk data is affecting the main page, the search page. Got it? So this all comes under good requirements. But you may ask me a question. See, Yahoo knows that these are the good requirements. Then why did they put all these advertisements and everything on this? Means they want money, they want to earn revenue, right? This is the front page. Okay, so they will be paying a lot of money. Advertisers, they are paying a lot of money to Yahoo. That is the reason they are putting advertisements on the page. But when you look into your Google, it's plain, it's simple. Am I right? You following what I'm saying? Bopeng, you there? Are you following what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you're following, right? It's clear. See, if you have any doubts, you ask
Yeah,
me
yeah,
in the
yeah.
middle. You have any doubts, you ask me in the middle, okay? So that I'll tell you. Don't worry. Don't think that you are disturbing me or my session, okay? You can ask me at any time. Fine. So here are could requirements. Could have this if it does not affect anything else. Now I can say simply I ignore these could requirements. I don't want these could requirements. I ignore them. Then the last one is would or won't. Okay? Would or won't. Won't have this time but would like in the future. I mean, you gather the requirements. I mean, client gave you a couple of requirements because lack of time or lack of importance of the requirement, lack of emergency, something like that. We put these requirements aside. I'm not saying that to delete these requirements or to ignore these requirements. I'm saying that we'll put it aside. And after in the next version, in the next version or after a couple of days or couple of months, we will add these requirements in that project. Got it? So the must and should are mandatory requirements, and won't requirements, would requirements, or something like people are not. I mean, let's say that there are some requirements which are like, I mean, people they are not ready to accept that much of changes. People are not ready in a position to understand those changes or accept those requirements. Got it? Slowly, the development should happen slowly, right? At a time you cannot change the at a time you cannot bring a new technology all of a sudden, something like which people cannot understand, right? So such requirements we call them as own requirements. So these are also important requirements, but we don't implement, we don't design now, but in future we will implement. That is the reason we are saying would or won't have this time but would like in the future. but future you add it. It's mandatory. I mean, it's depending on the situation, you add it. Is it clear? So you may ask me a question like, uh, why you said that would or won't requirements are also important, but why means I'm saying that because lack of time, lack of importance, okay, and lack of money, and lack of severity of the application, and people also, they are not in a position to understand the such type of requirements. Better you put it aside, okay. So in this way, you ask client must, should, could, and don't, and ignore the could requirements, and would or won't requirements, put it aside, and must and should requirements you have to implement in a project. Got it? Clear? Or you have any doubts? So tell me.
Hello.
Yeah, yes, Musa.
Yeah. Can you give us an example of a must, should, could, and would
I gave you an example.
uh,
I gave
in
you
a
an example.
software? No, I mean in actually in a software development lifecycle,
Okay, fine.
real software projects. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, if you look
Thank you.
into Gmail, okay, let's take an example of a Gmail. Registration page is a must requirement. Am I right? See, if you want to log into Gmail, first what you need a registration page. Let me show you that. Something like first you want to log into Gmail. How can I go here? I don't have a sign up option here. Just a second. Let me log out first. Yeah, sign out. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Let me show you from the beginning. Create an account. Okay. This is a must requirement. Got it? What is this? Create your Google account. Now I took an example of Gmail. So I want an email. Okay. I want a Gmail. So for this, to have a Gmail, first what you have to do? You have to register yourself. This is where you open your account. So this is a must requirement. Am I right? Without this, how can you log into your email? Now, I enter my first name, last name, my email ID, I mean a new email ID, and a password, okay, and the confirm password and date of birth and all these things. Once I log in, once I register here, then I can log in. So registration process is a must requirement. And after registering, login, login. I mean, by if you want to send an email, if you want to read an email, you have to log in. Login is also a must requirement. Log into a page. And once you log in, composing an email, sending an email, this all comes under must requirement also. Only because the email job is to send an email and receive an email, okay, and do all these things. This comes under must requirements. Okay, Musa, fine. And coming to should requirements, should is something like, let me log into my account first. Okay, so here is my, I'm logging in. Now I register, I'm logging in. I entered my email ID and password, and I'm logging in. Okay, once I log in, what are the must requirements in this? Like compose. When I click on compose, the main objective, the main concept of this Gmail is to send an email and receive an email and read an email, correct? This all comes under must requirements. And let's look into should requirements. Should requirements are something like, social is a should requirement. Promotions is a should requirement because, you know, even those are also emails. You can see in one list. So no need to have a social and promotion separate. Okay. And you can see here, this is like a window. It has all the options. This all comes under should requirements. I mean, this is not mandatory that inside a Gmail, you have to view all these things, like all these windows, all these options. Am I right? This all comes under should requirements. And coming to, uh, you can say so many things like, even chat box. There is a chat box, right? Google Gmail chat box. This is also not mandatory because we do have Gtalk separately, correct? So this is not a must requirement. But when I say email, Gmail or email, what is a must requirement? The must requirements are registering, logging in, compose and send in button, and read an email and attach email. These all comes under must requirement. Should requirements are like Gtalk, okay, or you know some additional applications. These all comes under should requirements. Okay, Musa, you got it. And what about could? There won't be any could requirements here. Why? Because could requirements we don't implement. Like, do you see any advertisements on this page? No, it is not affecting, right? Any advertisements or any, some symbols or logos. No, it's pretty clean. It's pretty neat and pretty clean, right? So this is how I can go with, a Gmail example, right? Could requirements and owned requirements are something like, you can add some more options to this. Okay, but not now. We'll be adding in the future. I mean, up to now, let's assume that it's enough. Up to now, let's assume that okay, the Gmail is good now. If you want anything additionally, the old requirements or would requirements, some additional requirements, new requirements we'll be adding. Otherwise, we'll put it aside. This is how it works. Okay, Musa. Any other doubts?
Elder should and could.
I already told you about should, right? I already explained about should
Yeah,
requirements, right? Pratiksha,
yeah.
yeah, Pratiksha, didn't I explain?
What's
Yeah.
the difference with could?
Go ahead, go ahead. Please, please go ahead.
Yeah, what's the difference with could and should?
Okay. Musa, can you tell me what is the difference between should and could?
Okay, the must and should are they go
Mm.
together. They are mandatory, and they are things that
In,
we must have
ah,
on the project. While
mhm,
could are
mm,
things that we could leave for later and future. They're not a necessity. They're not basic necessity to make the project, the software, or the project we're working on
mhm,
work. They're not really essentials. They're
mhm,
things we could
mm.
leave out. Yeah,
Yes,
just
yes.
like you showed the example, the
Yes.
chat option in Gmail.
Right.
That's something that we can do without. The socials and all those other stuff are things that we can leave out of a Gmail
Mm.
account. So the difference is should is mandatory, must be there,
Yes.
while could
Mm.
can do without it.
Right. Uh, Pratiksha, can you tell me what is the difference between should and could?
Like should, as Musa said, is a mandatory requirement. Like when we, like you said, when we log in into the Gmail account, the
Mhm,
Google Drive, the calendar, they are
mm.
like it's not primary requirement like sending, receiving email, but they enhance the functioning of Gmail itself. So they
Correct.
are mandatory. But the code requirements, like for instance, if you Google something like you are going for a vacation and you look at different hotels,
Correct.
when you log into Facebook, like it shows on the side, like
Mm.
it shows you offers, and that is like could, because it's just bothering you. It's of no use.
Correct.
So
You are
those
right.
are code requirements.
Perfect. Perfect. You well understood. Okay, Bopin, you got the answer? I explained, right? I gave an example of
Yeah,
should.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
got it.
much clearer now.
That's good. Thank you.
Mm,
Okay, and what else?
okay.
And what about would or won't? Can anyone tell me what is the last one? Would or won't requirements. Won't have this time, but would like in the future. Pratiksha, can you go ahead?
Would and won't.
Yeah, won't have this time, but would like in the future.
Like there might be certain functionalities that would add value to
Right?
the software that's being developed,
Mm-hmm.
but for the time being, because of money constraint or time,
Mm.
like it could not be that could not be developed, and it can be done in further like release or any enhancement session.
Correct. Perfect. Musa, what you say? Is it right or wrong? Can you
Yeah,
give
she
an
said it exactly how it should be said.
right? Right. So, can you give an example for owned requirements like would or won't? If you take an example of like Gmail only, can anyone give an example? Something like you create something like like would or won't requirement. Won't have this time, but would like in the future.
Okay, like for maybe an organization that's developing a website,
Mm-hmm.
they could uh, they could just have a normal website that is accessible on
Mm-hmm.
laptops and desktops.
Mm-hmm.
They would probably would want their website to be accessible on handheld, like on phones, mobile devices.
Right.
That's something they can leave for the future.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Perfect. That
yeah.
means you mean to say like it should act like an app, right? It should like an
Yes,
application.
like an
Uh,
application for mobile, maybe iOS or Android.
exactly. Perfect. Good
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
Good example. Fantastic. Good. Okay. So next. So here are the definitions. I already told you what is must, should, could, and don't. Like could describes a requirement that must be satisfied the final solution of the for the solution to be considered a success. And should is represents a high priority item that should be included in the solution of its possible. This is often a critical requirement, but one which can be satisfied in other ways if strictly necessary. Whatever you said, the same here, but in a different way. I mean, in a logical, in a technical way. That's it. Could describes a requirement which is considered desirable but not necessary. This will be included if time and resources permit. Time and resources means everything it should support. Like if you're putting some requirement, it's a good requirement. If it is not bothering anything, you can put it. And won't means the last one, would or won't, represents a requirement the stakeholders have agreed will not be implemented in given release but may be considered for the future. Why? I told you the reason, correct? Because of lack of time, lack of money, lack of importance. Got it? Now what you do is I gave you some assignment questions, right? In that we have some questions something about Masco technique, MSCW. And I said something like collect some requirements by using Masco technique. You just do that assignment, okay? Then you will remember that. You just look into the assignment, what I gave you. Okay, next one is Zachman method. See, Masco is prioritization technique. Remember, by using this Masco technique, you can prioritize the requirements and gather according to priority. You will gather. Okay, and the next one is Zachman. Zachman method is something like 5Ws, 1H. 5Ws: why, where, what, who, when, and 1H is how. So let's take an example. Let's go with an example here. Uh, like you joined as a business analyst in one organization, in one IT company, and you have no idea about the project. Okay, let's say the project is something like XYZ. Project name is, I mean, the client name is XYZ. You never heard about the client and you have no idea what exactly they are. So initially what you do is you just do some research, right? You do some primary research, like you look into Wikipedia, what is XYZ, what is this XYZ organization, and all these things. And then as a manager, I mean, your manager will ask you, hey, go and gather requirements from the client. I mean, what exactly they are looking for. So if I ask you, see, as a manager, if I ask you people to go and gather requirements from the client, so what you did first, you looked into Wikipedia website and you understand something about the organization. Now you got some idea. Okay, so XYZ is something like a bank. Okay, now how you start? I mean, let's assume that you go to client, you sit in front of client. Okay, it's an interview. Okay, it's an interview. You sit in front of client, and how you start, from where you start, you should have some a formal procedure, right? What type of questions you have to ask, correct? So this method is very much useful for that purpose. 5 W's 1 H, you have to ask, you can ask questions like this, why, where, what, who, when, and H, 1 H is how. 5 W's, why, where, what, who, when, and 1 H is how. Let's say this: 5 W's 1 H, why, what, when, where, who, and 1 is how. So let's look into it. Let's go with some example here. So this is an example. In this, you just concentrate on the top one, the scope planner. In the scope planner, we have like what, how, where, who, when, and why. Correct? You able to view it, right? Let me make it full screen. The scope planner: what, how, where, who, when, and why. Now let's come up with an example. Let's assume that Mr. Musa is an SME for Facebook application. Got it? Mr. Musa is an SME for a Facebook application. So as a BA, as a business analyst, I am from IBM. Okay. So this Facebook people approached IBM. I mean, what Facebook people want? They want a social networking site. Let's go with this social networking site example. Okay. Now, Mr. Musa is an SME of Facebook. So let's assume that Facebook, they don't have anything till now. Let's assume that the Facebook, it is not a social networking site, nothing. So just it's a brand name, like they just entered, they have just entered into industry, and they want to come up, they want to design one software application, they want to design one social networking site. So to design the social networking site, Facebook approached IBM. In IBM, in a particular project, I am a BA. Okay, Musa. So now I will ask you some questions about Facebook. You have to tell me, because I don't know anything, right? Now I am here to gather requirements for this Facebook application, and I have to explain these requirements to my technical team, and this technical team will design Facebook application, that is social networking site for you. Okay, so something is there in your mind now. So in Musa is thinking about something like, I want some social networking site, it should look something like this, like this. Okay, now I'm asking you some questions, you just answer. My first question for you is, what is Facebook? I mean, what exactly, what do you mean by Facebook, and what data it consists of? You tell me, Musa. Anyone can tell. I just took a name of Musa, but anyone can tell.
Okay, Facebook is a social networking site,
Mm-hmm.
and it contains people's names,
Mm-hmm.
pictures,
Mm-hmm.
hobbies,
Mm-hmm.
interests,
Mm-hmm.
their locations,
Right.
their status,
Right.
education,
Right.
and
Okay,
like
good.
things like that.
Great.
Yeah.
Now I understand that from Musa's answer, I understand that as a BA, it's a social networking site. That's fantastic. Now I got an idea, because I have some idea about Orkut. Earlier, I used to use Orkut. So now I have an idea. Oh, it's a social networking site wherein people's information is here, right? Like a people profile pictures or profile data, something like that. Okay, I understand that it is a social networking site. My next question for Musa is, how? I mean, I know that people data is here and it has all the photographs and something you said, that's fine. But how it works? I mean, how can you communicate with people? Can you explain me the functionality, please? Like, because I don't know, right? I know that it is social networking site, but I don't know how it works. I don't know how you communicate with people. So can you explain how will you communicate? Can you explain the functionality? That is what they asked. The question here is how list of processes the business performs. So this Facebook is a business. What it performs? Yeah, go ahead. Anyone can answer. If not, Musa, your wish. I want to know how it works. No answer?
I'd like to try, like in order to connect people on Facebook, both the people should have, all the people should want, who want to connect on Facebook should have a Facebook account.
Okay.
And that's how you see people if they are on Facebook, and if they are, you send request and they accept, and that's how you, after they accept, you can see, you can access their photos, their online status, and that's how you send them message.
Right. So you mean to say that I can communicate a person uh, by searching by their name, okay, through their
Yes,
email
they have an
address, and who have an account, right? And I can search some people. That means you are saying something about functionality, right? You are saying,
yes.
you're trying to say that on Facebook we can communicate with people. How will you communicate? Means by putting their names, by searching, and by click on add friend, okay, and type a message, drop a message, upload a photograph, upload a video, like. So this all comes under functionalities. Okay, now I understand. Oh, people can communicate with each other, and they can also view these photos, videos. They can also add friends, requests, messages. That's fantastic. And my third question for you is where? Where this works? It is only permitted to America or only permitted to UK, or I want to know like where? List of locations in which the business operates. Can anyone tell me where this operates? Where? Network. Where means location. I think you people, all of you have Facebook accounts, right? So if you have a Facebook account, then you will answer easy. That's a pretty good, pretty easy answer. Across the world, across the world, across the universe. But in some countries they banned it. Okay, some like two, three countries they banned it. But this is a social networking site, and it is a 70 multilingual language site. Okay, this application is in 70 languages. You can translate. Okay, by clicking a translate button, you can see the text in English, Chinese, different languages. Okay, whatever it is, I don't want to go in detail about it. So now I understand that, oh, it's a worldwide. Okay, that's fantastic. And now my next question for you is, see, as a BA, I'm understanding the project now. Okay, I'm not gathering requirements here. This method is useful for understanding the project in a better way. Okay, later I will gather requirements. Later, after understanding the project, I will gather the requirements. That is the second scenario. But my intention, I mean, my what I want to know is, I want to know something about project. That is the reason I'm using this method. Okay, my next question is, who? List of organizations important to business. That means people who are important to this Facebook. I mean, see, Facebook is giving free service, right? I'm using it for free. You are using it for free. I don't know you are using it for free, or I don't know. Maybe you are paying, but but I am using it for free. Okay. So if Facebook is giving it for free to everyone, it's a free application, then from where they are getting money? That is what the question here is. Who means list of organizations important to business. So how it is surviving? How the Facebook is surviving? From where they are generating revenue? From where they are getting money? Any idea? Who are important to
From
Facebook?
the from the
Advertisement.
advertisement.
Perfect. See, so the simple logic here is, Facebook logic is, they designed a social networking site and they gave it for free. People started using it because it's free, right? Millions of people are using it. Just think, wherever you find a bunch of a million people, there will be advertisement. It's a simple logic. The business lies here. The business secret is this. So we are using Facebook for free, and Facebook is earning millions of dollars through advertisements. That's it. But we are not getting anything. I mean, of course, we are enjoying the service for free, We are really enjoying the service, but Facebook, what Facebook did, Facebook attracted customers and pulled all the customers and put it under one roof, and advertisements came up, and through the advertisements they are earning money. Suppose if you click on some link, if you click on an advertisement, immediately $1, $2, like that, that amount will go to Facebook. Suppose if you buy something by clicking on the link, any advertisement, that is the reason Facebook allows advertisements, because of without advertisement they can't survive, because you or me, we are not paying for it. Good. Okay, I understand so many things now about Facebook. That's great. Then as a BA, then my second next question is, when list of events significant to business, I mean, is it permitted to separate some timings, like only 1 hour is allowed per day or something like that? How many hours you can work? It's 24 by 7, right? 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days. Anytime, any time zone. Okay? Because EST, PST, EST, CST, right? IST. Any country person, anytime they can access. That is what time, when. And the last question is why? I mean, motivation. Why they want to start this? I'm asking you people, like, why you want to go with Facebook? What is your goal? Okay? So the goal will be something like this, money. First point is money. Okay, not only money here, you have to do service to people. So this Facebook application is providing service to millions of people. I mean, it is helping people to communicate with each other. At the same time they are earning money, so both the ways they are fantastic, right? People like Facebook because they can find their childhood friends, they can find partners, right? They can find their mates. So many things happens. They can learn many things on Facebook if you use it in a right way. Got it? That is what motivation. Why? So in the same way, for every project you use this method. Now I will take an example of Bank of America. Now anyone tell me all of this. I don't want one like, I mean, like, I don't ask you what, how, and all these things. You just I just choose Bank of America. So tell me, what data Bank of America consists of. I'm talking about a bank. Let's do some research on bank here. Okay. My first question is what? What data you find on Bank of America? Any try? We did some exercise, right, till now? Yeah.
Let me try this.
Please.
I think a bank need the client's information, like the name, their their financial status,
Okay.
and
Okay. First question.
some other
Yeah, yeah.
data. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, my first question here is, what data? List of things important to the business. I mean, who are important here? Customers. As you said, customers are important. So customer means more than that. What is important? Products, right? Every bank will should have some accounts, like savings account, checking account, right? Person information, customer. This all comes under data. And functionalities. How it works? Tell me how a bank operates. It provides an account, right? It provides loan. Functionalities, what you do on a bank. Okay. And network, where it operates. Only United States, when I say Bank of America. And people who are important. List of organizations like savings accounts. I mean, individuals, at the same time organizations like IT companies, industries, manufacturing companies. They all store money, right? They all do transactions. Bank of America. And when? Do we have any timings for a bank? Yes, right? Yes, morning 10 a.m. to morning 9 a.m. to evening 6 p.m., 7 p.m., something like that. Correct? And the last one is why. Because why means it provides a financial status, it provides financial service to people. So everyone need money to live. Correct? To live. So like this, you have to ask questions. Is it clear? Bopeng, Musa, okay? Is it clear? Or you have any doubts? So tell me, do you think that this is a useful method or not? You just tell me that. Hello, you there? Yeah,
Hello.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a very useful method because I think it will make a business analyst understand
exactly.
exactly what
Mm.
the company or the sponsor or whoever
Mm.
uh, wants a function. He will understand. The person will have a clear understanding of what the client wants and will be able to gather requirements
Perfect,
accurately here.
perfect, good, very good. So the next one is 3D method. 3D means discovering, describing, documenting. So let's look into a scenario here. The same Facebook, it's a social networking site, okay? They want to start a bank, okay? The same Facebook, you know, everyone, I mean, we all know about Facebook, it's a social networking site. Now they earned enough money. Now they want to start a banking business like Facebook Bank. So that, you know, all the Facebook customers, all the Facebook users will become Facebook customers. I mean, if a bank, if Facebook opens a bank, so all whomever they are whomever they are using Facebook, you know, they all can open an account. So it's a fantastic idea, right? Millions of customers across the world, they will invest money in Facebook Bank, correct? Okay, fine. So the example here is, let's assume Facebook want to start a bank. So physically they have designed everything. Like physically means they constructed a building, they constructed a couple of offices, okay, and they hired vice president from Wells Fargo, general manager from Bank of America, and some other very good employees from Chase. Like this, they gathered a couple of people, some banking employees, and they started a physical bank. Okay, so when it comes to online applications, so Facebook have no idea, that much idea, right? Of course, Facebook hires some SMEs. Obviously, if they want some software applications like online banking or something like that, they hire some SMEs, but that is not that much easy because they are coming up, they are starting up now. They have to do a lot of research, they have to do a lot of software jobs. I mean, they have to do a lot of applications. Now, in this situation, if they approached an IBM, okay, let's say I'm working as a business analyst in IBM, and they request BA that, you know, discover some requirements for me. Got it? I want some online banking application. Okay, I am new to this business. Okay, I have an SME, but you know they will give some ideas, they will give some requirements. Along with them, you just uh, work with them and discover some new requirements for me, something new. You know, because it's a new project, right? Then what you do? How do you discover? It's simple. First point is, if you are an experienced person, that comes with your from your knowledge. Okay, if you have a really a creative idea, okay, if you are a creative person, then you can bring some requirements, or else by looking into others applications. Like now I took an example of, let's say I took an example of Facebook Bank, right? Now look into Wells Fargo, look into Bank of America, look into Chase. Okay, like this we look into different banks online applications and try to identify how they are built, okay, how they are designed, what are the different requirements they have, and those requirements we have to implement here. So that is what we are saying here. 3D: discover, describe, and document. So as a BA, first you discover a requirement. A small example here: discovered. What you discovered? Requirement example: login page. You discovered a login page, and you have to explain it to client, right? Just it's a small example. Doesn't mean like, you know, uh, uh, login page. Everyone knows about login page, but here is an example. describe. You have to describe, like our login page consists of username and password and sign in button. Okay, and then document requirement, like business requirement document, functional requirement document, system requirement document. That means when I say this 3D model, that is not only for business analyst, this is for everyone, systems analyst, data analyst. Okay, so systems analyst will also discover some requirements and put it in a system document. Sorry, and data analyst also gather some data requirements and put it in a data requirement document. Like this, as a BA or SA or a DA, as an analyst, you discover, describe, and document the requirements. Okay, and you explain it to client. So like this, the remaining things we'll discuss tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow we'll be discussing about 3D model and objectives and all these things. So till here, okay. So we talked about one Moscow technique. This is a prioritization technique, and Zachman method. This is a method we use it for identifying the requirements, identifying about a project. I mean, sorry, not identifying, understanding about a project, understanding about a project in a detailed way. And 3D method is used for discovering something, some new projects, new requirements for a new project. Okay, how do you discover? Can you tell me? Can you give an example? How do you discover? If I ask you to discover something new, we have internet, right? We are blessed with internet. We will find everything on internet. Okay, look into different applications, look into different organization sites. Okay, try to understand their requirements, try to look into their applications and understand their applications. And as it is, I'm not saying to copy the requirement, but the logic you copy and you implement in a different way. Okay, like if you see login page, Gmail have login page, YouTube have a login page, Facebook have login page, right? uh, every even Yahoo email, every application you have a login page, correct? Got it? So like this, you can look into different applications, related applications, and you can gather some requirements. You can discover some requirements. That's it. Okay, any doubts?